What's going on, everybody? It's Korr here, and today, I don't know why it's taken me so long to get to this, but we're going to be talking about night runners. Now, you might not know what night runners is, unless if you follow other people in the racing game community on YouTube, in which case you will, but I haven't been able to express my thoughts on this game until now because, well, I just didn't get around to it. So, just a basic introduction, Night Runners is an indie racing game. I don't think it's developed by a studio. I think it's developed by one person. Hold on, let me check real quick. It doesn't say who the developer is, but it is an indie game that's going to be coming out very soon. I believe the demo of the game is coming out at the end of this year. Yep, December 18th, 2021 is the release date for the demo. And this game is basically what the Need for Speed community says they want from a racing game. It's mostly based around tuners. It takes place from the late 90s into the early 2000s, and it takes place in Japan. Specifically, Japan's highway network, like Tokyo Extreme Racer 3 or Import Tuner Challenge on the 360. You might have heard of that game. And it has customization and these tuner cars, you know, the R34s here, the S13. There's a Toyota Chaser or Mark II. I'm not sure which one it is exactly in there as well. There's an RX-7, and so on and so forth. I'm not exactly familiar with this game's plot because I don't think something about that has been said yet. But it's probably, you know, climb the ranks of street racing, whatever. Now, first things first, something I want to point out. I'm not going to focus the entirety of this video on the fact that the game takes place in Japan. It is cool that the game takes place in Japan, don't get me wrong, but pretty much everyone that I've seen talk about this game is only talking about the fact that Night Runners takes place in Japan. Those people, I imagine, don't really care about gameplay, because a lot of them are the same people that want Need for Speed to take place in Japan, or Forza Horizon to take place in Japan, for no particularly good reason other than the fact that it's Japan. Which is why I want to talk about a little something. Japan is not just JDM cars. Japan also has lowriders and muscle cars. There's tons of muscle cars there. There's supercars. Okay, I probably didn't need to tell you that. You know, because, you know, Morohoshi-san and those neon-infested Lamborghinis. But, you know, really quick, wanted to get this out of my system. Just because the game takes place in Japan doesn't mean that it's good. I'm not referring to Night Runners here specifically. I'm referring to racing games in general. So, if you see a racing game that takes place in Japan, just play the game and see if it's good. Don't go assuming that it's good. But in the case of Night Runners, I actually think this has the potential of being a really good game. So, only a bunch of like little gameplay snippets have been released so far, and from what I can see, this is looking like a very interesting and very polished game. Certainly a lot more polished than the more recent Need for Speed games, which is amazing considering that the game hasn't even finished development yet. It's way away from that. But, you know, the maps look really detailed, the graphics look fantastic. I love the aesthetic of the game. It, like, the entire heads-up display is like a VHS menu, so to say. You can see it in this customization clip that I'm showing on the screen right now. You can see it all, it's all structured like a VHS tape with the font and the playing text in the corner. That's also there when you actually play the game, as you can see from this piece of footage. And overall, it's looking pretty good. Now, the physics model, there will be drifting physics as far as I know, and there will be grip physics as well, but the fact that the game takes place on Tokyo's network of highways, I hope that the physics work better than the ones in Tokyo Extreme Racer 3, because Tokyo Extreme Racer 3, sorry people, is absolutely unplayable in my experience. So, I don't know how much I can say about the physics because I haven't played the game yet. I don't know how that's going to go together, but I'm hoping that this studio or this person who's developing the game can make it work. So really the juiciest piece of information about Night Runners right now is the customization, because I believe that's the longest video on the official Night Runners YouTube channel. It's over 7 minutes long, and it's definitely interesting. So for one thing, as you can see here, all of the parts that you can equip to your car have sub-elements. So this particular bumper has those little wires connecting at the front, and you can remove individual canards, so maybe you want the top canards but not the bottom ones, or vice versa. You can do that. And as you can see from this clip here, there's actual interior customization, including gauges and a radio display, and a bunch of other things. The cars aren't licensed, but they are heavily based on real-life cars, which is fine. You know, this is an indie game. But they are very faithful to their real-life counterparts, and if there's one thing I would like to see in Night Runners is not just JDM cars. keep the JDM cars, they're cool, but add other types of cars that are also present in Japanese car culture. So maybe some Euro cars like a Mark IV Golf or a B5 Audi S4, or maybe some lowriders like an Impala or a Thunderbird or a Buick Regal, and so on and so forth. It would be cool if we're already making here a racing game that takes place in Japan. Japan has a really varied car culture. Just read any Speed Hunters article on car culture in Japan and you'll see. So Euro cars and American cars and Dajibans, the Dodge vans that people like to race in Japan. K cars as well. That would be fabulous if we have K cars in this game. But I'm just making a suggestion here. Don't make the cars in the game entirely JDM. It's fine if they are at launch. Maybe you can add some more in the future, but just keep it varied if possible. Well, I think that's about everything in terms of information about Night Runners that I know of right now, the major stuff that everyone cares about. Now it's time for me to express my opinion on Night Runners. I keep mistaking that because Night Riders is the Soapbox Race World server, Night Runners is this game. So this is Night Runners. Honestly, I think it's going to be a really good game. From what I've seen, it looks like the developers are taking all the details and all the features of the game very seriously, and they want them to be as good as possible. If they follow through with that, it could totally work, and this could be a great game. And this game could potentially give the more recent Need for Speed games a run for their money in terms of replayability and content. And I'm definitely interested to see what happens with Night Runners, and I will definitely be playing that demo on the channel. And if you guys want to follow along with the development of Night Runners, I will put links in the description to the official Twitter and their YouTube channel, and they also have a Discord server as well that you can join via that Twitter. Well, that's going to be about it for this video on Night Runners, everybody. Thank you so much for watching. If you liked it, be sure to hit like and subscribe to the channel. Let me know what you think of Night Runners in the comments below. Thank you once again for watching. Be sure to follow me on Twitter and Instagram, and I will see you guys in the next video. Goodbye.